Welcome to term 2. This is so good to have everyone back together again. Does this feel nice? Yeah. All right. This term we're looking at community. This is all of us together, what we do together. I was thinking about it and the other day, what it means for everyone to be together and functioning well together and how beautiful it is. And I thought of Constructicons. When I was in primary school, Transformers just came out, and it was this really special, amazing thing. And there were these things called Constructicons. And Tom, if you got the video. Got it? Constructicons. Anyone excited about Constructicons? Yeah, the 8-year-old me went crazy for them. I wanted to be that guy in the ad. Anyway, the thing with these Constructicons is you get a little transformer and another one, and 6 of them, you put them together, and poof, you get this big, awesome transformer. But me and my friends, none of us had all of the little ones, but together, we had them all. You get in the picture? We come to school together, and we construct the big guy at recess and lunch, and it's amazing. But if Greg's not there, if Steve's not there, if Brett is not there, we don't have the big guy, and it's just kind of a bit lame, and it's just this big robot with no legs, or something like that. That's one picture of community when it's working really well. Here's another one. Anyone here done group projects before? Like the teacher puts you in a group and says, you're doing this as a team, you got to do this together. And there's one no pointing fingers here, but there's one person in the group who's just not showing up, who's not pulling their weight, not doing the work, right? And it's a drag for everyone else. Do you feel that? Has anyone been through that kind of crisis? And it gets to the night before it's due, and the other people have done nothing, and you're left there with an all-nighter trying to get this thing finished. And the next day, you come to school ready for the group presentation, and the other person's not there, and you've got to give it all yourself. Has anyone been through that? Has anyone recovered from that? Yeah. Anyway, that's how it shouldn't be. But here, I want to ask you a question. Why are you here? Why are you at youth? Because I reckon there would be a whole lot of different answers for that in this room. But the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that the reason that you are here at youth in this room is because for whatever reason you think, God has actually got you here. And he's got you here for something amazing. For something that's actually quite unique and miraculous. And that's what we're going to be talking about this term. What it is that he's got you here for and what you can do with it. I'm going to talk as an old person now, talking to you as the next generation. And what I see with you guys is something amazing. Like, I'm blown away by how much you guys can handle and how much you guys can do, how creative you people are. Like the musicians are at a level that's way beyond what I was ever at and all my friends were ever at. That you have this knowledge and this creativity that goes well beyond what my people used to be able to do. And I think, man, you guys could accomplish almost anything. Are you encouraged by that? Yeah? You should be encouraged. You people are amazing. You can do all kinds of things. But here's where it's hard for you, is you have this pressure on you. You guys are amazing. You can do anything. And you need to do something amazing with your life. And until you find what that unique, amazing thing is that's going to lift you above the crowd and make you stand out, you haven't really figured it out yet. And you haven't reached fulfillment until you're at that unique place where it's like, whoa, look at Simba. He is just so Simba. Like, just so set apart from everyone. My daughter, Lily, she's 7, and her favorite movie in the world for the last week is Moana. I haven't seen Moana, but I've heard the theme song to Moana nonstop for the last 48 hours. And the gist I get from what she sings of this theme song, and this is the message that you guys get over and over again from all kinds of different places. In this song, it says something along these lines, that if I just do my part and be part of the team and just help everyone on the island, I'm going to be satisfied. But there's something that's calling me deeper, and I've got to be true to that, and it's sending me somewhere way beyond, somewhere unique. That's kind of what it's about. But this is a message you guys are getting that is just being sent to you over and over again. And I don't know whether you notice or not, but it's going in. And the problem with that, it's kind of a good message. Do something amazing with your life. But it puts this pressure on you that you have to do something amazing. That you have to stand out like Simon does. That you have to be this amazing. Sorry, Simon. I don't know why I said that. You don't stand out in a bad way at all. But you have to do this amazing thing, and until you've done that, like your life is just kind of grey and ordinary. And that puts this massive pressure on you when you're feeling like you don't stand out, or you're too scared to stand out, or you're working so hard and you fail. You get like an ordinary grade, and you're like, well, I'm just one of the grey people here in the middle. I'm not ever going to stand out. And it just gets more and more depressing. That you're never going to get there. And that sucks. And it shouldn't be like that. And the message I want to give you tonight is just a flip of all of that. And it's straight from the Bible. And it's something that we wouldn't normally figure out on our own. So we need God to tell us. So let me go to Romans 12. This is what it says. For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you. This is what he's saying to you who have this pressure on you to be that amazing, unique, standout person. I say to everyone among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned. He's saying, don't think of yourself more highly than you ought to think. And the whole world is saying, think of yourself highly. Put yourself up there in this amazing place. Work, bust your guts for it. Get depressed when you're not there. Just do whatever you can to get there. And God is saying, don't think of yourself too highly. He's talking about this in the context of a group. Like all of you together, this group that he's writing this letter to. He's saying, don't think of yourself too highly. Here's how people think of themselves too highly. That this group of people, someone might be thinking that they're more important than everyone else. That they are the main cog in this machine, that they hold everything together. And some of us have that temptation to feel like, yeah, it's all on me. I hold this whole thing together. For some people, thinking more highly of yourself than you ought is like this. I don't need anyone else. I can function fine on my own. And I don't need anybody. But he says, think of yourself with sober judgment. Think the way you should think about yourself. And some of us, it's not a matter of, or a problem of thinking too highly of ourselves. We don't think highly enough about ourselves. Some of you don't realize that you are a gift to this community. That you are a gift from God being here in this place. And what you have to offer here and beyond here is a gift. He's saying, think of yourselves soberly. And he says, with a measure of faith assigned to you. What does that mean? He's talking about not measuring yourself by what you do, but measuring yourself by the one you've put your faith in. That's your measure of faith. It's not about thinking of yourself by how much you can do or how much you should do or how much you can't do. It's thinking of how much Jesus has done for you. That's what he's saying. That's how we measure ourselves. That we learned it last term. Our identity is we are dependent. We are vulnerable people. And without Jesus, we are nothing. And he comes along and he picks us up off the scrap heap of life. And he turns us into this new creation. And he doesn't just leave us. He says, here, I've got something for you to do. And he puts you here, in a community. And he says, now something special is going to happen. Do you get that? That's what he's saying. And he wants you to be part of his family, part of his body. But the problem with this family is it's a weird one. In verse 5, it says, for as in one body we have many members, arms, legs, feet, whatever, and the members do not all have the same function. So we, though many, are one body in Christ, and individually members one of another, one body. He's writing to the church in Rome back in the 1st century AD. I don't know if you know anything about Rome back then, but it was kind of the center of the world, which means when a place is the center of the world, like a big capital city that everyone is coming to and going from, you're going to have people from all over the world in that place, right? Really multicultural place. Kind of like Adelaide is these days, not that it's the center of the world, but we're a multicultural place, right? Rome was like that. The thing back then, they weren't really good at getting along with other people that were strange, that were different to them. And he's saying, don't think of yourself more highly than you ought, but see what you can do with everyone else. People are so different. And people back then, they would look at someone different and be like, I don't want to associate with them, and be embarrassed by them, roll their eyes at them, just not want to be near them. And this letter to the Romans, Paul's writing, he's saying, don't think like that. Because if you think like that, this community is going to fall to pieces. That you're just going to be hurting each other. And you're going to cause divisions, and it's just going to crumble. And he's saying, this group of people, which God has pulled together and made new creations out of the people within this group and looking to do something amazing with them, they're just going to look like any other group in the world and just be nothing. That's not unique. That's sad. But he's saying, I've called you to something amazing. He says, I've given you gifts. Verse 6, having gifts that differ according to the grace given to us, let us use them. He's saying, God's given everyone a unique gift. And he's saying, you can use them. And the gifts only really have meaning when they're all together. It's like those Constructicons. When me and my friends were all together and we all brought our gift, our birthday present of our little green Constructicon, we made this amazing robot and it was awesome. Well, like the group project, it's only ever really good when everyone's in and everyone's pitching in with their bit. Yeah, you're good at coloring, you can do the title page. You're good at talking, you can do the presentation. You're really smart, well, you can write everything down. You know how it goes, right? People have different gifts, and when you all come together, it's really good. But when you're trying to do what the world is trying to tell you to just be set apart and be unique, like this lone wolf off there on your own, you might do amazing. And you might do that for a while. But when something goes wrong, you're alone. But here's what is amazing. This is what I want you to get. God has called you to something unique, something totally different to what is out there in the world, something actually amazing and miraculous. Miraculous means it doesn't happen naturally. He's called you to be in this community, and he's called you to use the gifts that he's given you. To not think of yourself like, I don't belong here, I don't need these people. To not think of yourself like, there's nothing I can offer here, but to realize he's got you here. And if you let him, he's going to do amazing things through you. That's what we're talking about this term. And as we go through this chapter of Romans, it's going to give you really, really practical ways that you can do something that is just so unique, so miraculous. And I'm really excited about this term. As we grab hold of that and do that, you're going to see God at work. And we're going to have an amazing Monuments Night at the end of the term. Everyone excited for that? Yeah, awesome. All right, let me pray for you.